right, folks, welcome aboard the channel. Hope things are going well in your neck of the woods. I've got a gift request from Jeff Cather. So thank you for the gift and the request, Jeff. Whitney Lusk, Stuck Missing You. Now, I don't know the song, don't know the artist. And Jeff said this: Hi, Don. Here is a request for yet another new female artist to the channel. She is up around my neck of the woods. She is from Spanish Fork, Utah. Now, Jeff's in Oregon, so they're not that far apart. See if she reminds you of who she reminds me of. Enjoy. All right, we're going to find out, Jeff. I love these games, so to speak. That last one was a doozy for the premarital counseling list. That was awesome. I love those moments of realization. Stuck Missing You. Here we go. Now that's pretty.
Hey, Grandpa. Hope you're doing good up there.
Miranda.
Things are getting back to normal.
In fact, when I heard the picking, I thought of Miranda. Then I heard her voice, and I said, Miranda. I'll see if it holds for the rest of the song, but that's what I got so far.
That don't mean we don't care. And Grandma stays up late in your old chair, 'cause missing sleep is better than that bed you used to share. She goes through all the motions of living. It's just harder now that half of her is missing. She tries to keep her strength up, but she's missing out on meals. She tries to stay healthy, but she's losing track of pills. Sunday morning we've been missing her there in that pew. Tries her best to make us think it isn't true. She's stuck missing you.
Man, that's rough.
She wakes up, gets all dressed up in her denim, pink lipstick and curls, just to go sit in the kitchen. And she's there for parties and traditions. She nods through conversations, but sometimes she don't listen. She tries to stay ahead of things, but she's missed on some bills. She overbooks her schedule, 'cause she can't have time to kill. And Monday morning's just another week she'll struggle through. Tries her best.
She also reminds me a bit of Kelsey Ballerini with her poetry and her observations and the way she delivers them. Tonally, very much reminds me of Miranda, but also possibly, well, Kelsey and Casey Musgrave are similar in style, kind of Bob Dylan-esque, Paul Simon-esque, with the singing, talking approach. Johnny Cash did that too, where he talked half his lyrics and sang.
To make us think it isn't true, that she's stuck missing you. Grandpa, I think that we all know she's gonna be okay, but she ain't ever letting go. 'Cause after all these years, she ain't missing your birthday. She ain't missed a chance to put new flowers on your grave. She's having trouble moving on, and I get it, I would too. There ain't no convincing us it isn't true, 'cause she's stuck missing you. She's stuck missing you.
All right, I'm glad I caveated it in the beginning when I said Miranda, but I said let's see if it holds true to the end. I'm thinking Casey Musgraves is who you were thinking of. I'd go more Casey than Miranda. though they're both there. But it really is more, I think, Casey. Her lyricism, assuming she wrote this, is so on point, so ahead of her years, so ahead of the game, that like these observations, these little lines that are thrown in there that add that human touch, bringing you into it because she's into it. Like when she said about, I know there's no talking her out of it to that extent, something like that, but because I would too. Like she's like, I can identify with you because I'd be feeling the same way if that happened to me. And it's really the mark of wisdom, youthful wisdom, when you can see that you're no different than the older generation. You're going to be there one day. And, the older folks are kind of pushed aside in some ways because they don't seem relevant. But even as a youngster, I would listen to what they had to say. And I don't even know where that came from because I was just a young, insensitive boy, We tend to be until we learn to be sensitive later in life, but toward other people's suffering and other people's perspectives. But there was just something, even about me at a young age, that respected what they had to say. And I didn't always abide by it. Of course, I went out there, had my fun, got in trouble, the whole nine, the usual lifestyle of a kid. But she has a sense of life, the cycle of life, and her powers of observation and ability to put them into language and words is absolutely beautiful. And I love that. It's a rare gift. We all have our own talents and gifts. Not all of us find them. Not all of us hone them. Not all of us work in the field in which we're better suited. I mean, my book is one of my books, Through Lines. My most recent one is about that very topic, about our human personalities. I posit in the book that there are 9 human personalities, and they don't change. We try to adopt different personas, but we go into careers and relationships that are not well suited to who we really are. And there are good reasons for it at times. You may have to go into an occupation that is not what your talent is. Out of necessity, you may need to do something just to make the money, and you don't get to express your inner being in that work, for example. And that's painful. It's rough. It's frustrating. And we don't always know why. We pursue something because we think that's the most important thing. But if it's not who we are, we wind up with this conflict thinking that the world is against us, or that other people just suck, or my colleagues are terrible, my bosses are this or that, when it really is that internally you're not happy, you're not well suited. There's, sand in the ball bearings of your life. But then there are the people who find the expression of who they are and what their abilities are. Now, whether that's Whitney, I can't say. I can say this, though. She's found a beautiful expression for her lyricism. And I love the way she delivered her lines. I don't know how old she is. The picture here, she looks young. The picture here, she looks like Miranda, actually. But to be compared to Miranda and Casey Musgraves, and on occasion, Kelsey Ballerini, you're in an elite lyrical group. So we'll see where her career goes, Jeff. I know you know about her career because you being in radio as long as you've been, and country music as long as you've been, all music as long as you've been, you'd know her background. So I'm going to rate this song. It really, I could relate to my grandparents. This song took me right to my grandparents' house in Staten Island when my grandfather died. Now, they were not madly in love, my grandparents. My grandfather was a very hard man. Let's put it that way. And, but that was a time where you just, by and large, stayed married regardless. And they did, my grandmother and grandfather. But still, when he died, it was a shock to her system because it's a whole different lifestyle. And it was I know people who, they would tell me stories of when their grandparents passed, or even when their parents passed, but let's just keep it the grandparents, that the grandfather died or the grandmother died, and within a year, the other one died. And they basically died of a broken heart. That's how we word it, but breaks down your desire to combat other things, to live healthy, to all this, where the emotional part just sort of takes over, and then you do your nosedive. And it's a beautiful sadness because you were so in love, but then the end of life when you're by yourself, it's just brutal. I love having been drawn into the song the way I was. So this is a very, very good call on this one, Jeff. I'm going to rate the song, and the number that struck me instantly was a 9.3. So we're going to see. But I think I nailed it by the end of the song. I think you were thinking of Casey. All right. And I know you're going to let me know because you're not shy to let me know things, especially when you admire the ratings I give to songs, which you always acknowledge are right on point. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Have a great day. See you on another video. Whitney, well done should you see this. Have a great day, folks.